Hello.
Hello. Welcome to our new album. Hello. This is Pear Shaped in Dystopia. Every Wednesday night at 8:30. Yes, it's Pear Shaped, and we hope y'all come to see us and don't be late. Yes, it's Pear Shaped. It's just a favour to come in, and we hope that you'll be coming back again to Pear Shaped in Dystopia every Wednesday night at 8:30.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Pear Shaped in Dystopia. Dystopia? Is it Dystopia?
No, I hope
No.
not.
Welcome to Pear Shaped in Dystopia. Or Dystempire. I'm Brian. This is Krysstal, my glamorous assistant. If there's any technical problems, everything is Krystal's fault. We have tonight. I think we should. Well, I would have introduced you, but it seems to have disappeared. Yeah, we are
Spit it out, love.
the compares.
We're the compares, and we have a
But
co-compare.
we haven't just got two of us being one compare. We've got another compare, and that is. There he is.
Miller.
That's.
I'm here. I'm
and just introducing you to the audience because we've had complaints that nobody knows what the fuck is going on with this podcast.
Right.
Who does what or why or when. Anthony is normally with us. He's not normally with us. He is normally with us, but he hasn't been with us, and tonight he's with us.
Yes.
So, and he's made a lot of effort to brighten the room up at the back there. Very nice.
Yeah, well, that's hiding the thermostat.
Yeah, I can't wait to see your Christmas decorations up there.
I've abolished them.
I bet they're terrific.
Right.
So
I'll see what I can find, actually.
Yeah.
We also have another member of staff.
Yes, we do. Yes. We have. This is Mandolino. He's just.
He's laughing.
He's from up north, and obviously he's has severe problems, and he thinks he can play the mandolin. So every now and then he sort of joins in and or says something that's got no connection with anything. So this is all highly organised, as you can see, and we should start really, shouldn't we? I think we should do a song, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but most male comics, I don't know why they do it, but they can get up the stage and they can talk for 20 minutes about their dick. 20 minutes. I really don't know how they can do it. And
that's because they're dicks.
Okay, that was Krysstal being a bit sexist there. And of course, female acts, the ladies. Female acts, they're completely they never talk about their dicks.
Dildos.
They talk about wishful thinking and things like I don't know, periods and stuff like that, and shopping, and earrings. So we don't do any of that. So, but rather than talk about my dick tonight, I've decided to sing a song about it. Well, it's not necessarily my dick; it's dicks in general. So. We've got a little song. What a wonderful thing is the penis.
It is.
A source of amusement and fun.
Yours is.
We write poems about them, we can't live without them. What a shame we can only have one.
Speak for yourself.
A magnificent thing is the penis, designed to fit snug in the hand, bringing oodles of pleasure and fun beyond measure, whether average, tiny or grand.
Oh, if only.
A fantabulous thing is the penis, a thing I am proud to possess. Although not unattractive, whether inert or active, it just never looks right in a dress. What a heavenly thing is the penis.
Hallelujah.
Some people call it a gland, coming all shapes and sizes and full of surprises, but they really take kindly to sand. Such a glorious thing as the penis.
Oh.
To be honest, I love it to bits. If you asked me to swap it, I'd tell you to hop it, but I might for a nice pair of tits.
Could be arranged.
There we go. A little bit of art for you. Closely followed by, very closely followed by
Mr. Robert White.
Mr. Robert White. Yes.
I didn't know what you wanted me to say.
Okay, so I asked what people wanted me to do, and they said that I should do a tutorial for one of my songs. Now, this is the song Don't Be a Twat, or if you're a little kid, shut up poo face, because poo face is a slightly more polite version of saying the T word. Basically what you do is someone who's slightly annoying you, not genuine, but sort of slightly annoying you in a friendly way, you take something which you want to talk to them about, then you play some subtle music as if you're going to talk to them seriously, and then you shout, "Don't be a twat," or "shut up poo face," like this. Look, Dave, I know you like the biscuits and you like the cakes, but there's lots of people in the house, particularly at this time, and the thing you've got to recognise, Dave, is that we've got to have stuff go around for everyone, so remember this in future. Don't be a twat! You, for tomorrow, tell me what you want me to do.
Oh, that was Robert White from the internet telling us, asking us what we want him to do. Robert is never here in a corporeal way, like I am. The object of Pear Shaped was originally that between the acts, because we always used to just put new acts, mainly, there would be compares to lift the room when it wasn't entertaining or people died, which was all the time. So we started off with one compare, which was Brian, and then Brian had a succession of compares who basically burnt themselves out because it was too much psychological torture for one person to compare the whole evening. So that's why we've ended up with multiple compares. Basically what you're watching here is survival of the fittest. I am the person who didn't break. All the compares before me had psychological breakdowns or careers that I didn't, so I'm still here. Because it is something that you can do if you have no skills, is stand-up comedy. So I'm expecting the Sussexes to turn up at any time. With they're still going on about this terrible interview that Meghan gave and the bombshell. It's not that she didn't have anything to say or it wasn't interesting or there wasn't any point to it. They keep talking about it's a bombshell, this terrible bombshell. I mean, basically, the claims she's made, they've made are things like Harry's been cut off by his family. And no, you haven't been cut off, Harry. They sacked you. It happens to everyone. Just welcome to the world of normal people. We've all been sacked from jobs. I've had some terrible jobs. So one of the jobs that I used to have is I used to be in charge of measuring whether professional wrestlers had been taking too many steroids, which was a terrible job. It was like trying to find a needle in giant haystacks. Good. So that's a joke. I have got some booze because you need it to survive the evening. Because unlike Cole Parker, we don't have any cannabis here or harder drugs. But it's not all bad in England. We may not have cannabis. We may not have cocaine and heroin that we're allowed to take. But you're allowed 5 kilograms of cockles for personal use. That's a big give by the government. You can go now to the seaside and collect 5 kilograms of cockles, and they're yours. No one can take that away from you. That is a British right. 5 kilograms of cockles. Obviously there have to be limits because we all remember what happened to Molly Malone. She got hooked on cockles, and that was it really. She died of a fever, and no one could save her. So that was the end of her. I would talk to you as the audience if this was a live gig. I'd do hello, what do you do? 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 You see what happens? I turn into the Queen. The Queen is a rubbish compare. You never see the Queen go along somewhere and say, hello, what do you do? And someone says, well, I work at the Diamond Light Accelerator. And the Queen says, that's good, because I've got a funny story about that. Sometimes Prince Philip says, go away, or ruder words, but then, you hear now and again, Prince Philip is held in hospital as a precaution. And that's because the Queen is kept in perfect health all the time. So she is filled with stem cells by the private doctors and the NHS 24/7. So if Prince Philip isn't held in hospital as a precaution, she'll be shooting them out like machine gun bullets and they'll take over. All those young royals you see, they are not there, they are directly from her. There's no generational level. This is why the others have had to go away, because they're giving the game away. Good. It's going all right now. As you can see, I've got my vaccine poster. I thought I would do my bit for the against the anti-vax people, because I'm the anti-Craig Campbell. So there we are. That is the vaccine poster that you can get for free from 38 Degrees with a bag. Yes, there's a lot of controversy, of course, about things like vaccine passports. We're going to have a vaccine passport. Sorry, I'm just reading what Ava's saying to me. I don't believe that anyone can endure this show without drugs, Anthony. I don't think anyone can argue with that. So you're going to have a vaccine passport to go to the pub. That's going to cause a lot of problems. I mean, why can't they just make a pint that contains the vaccine? That would solve all the problems. Just merge them together. Anyway, that's my solution for the world. A pint that contains the vaccine. I'm going to get that patented. In the meantime, I shall introduce the next act, who I believe is Adam Morrison Jones.
Hello, you beautiful people. Just to prove this is live, I'm going to do a bit of audience participation. So, you in the black top, what do you do for a living? Yeah? Oh, that's insane. What a crazy job. See, there you go. This is 100% live. So I started doing this about 15 years ago. I started out on holiday parks in the UK. Now, if you've never been to a holiday park, imagine Disneyland, but imagine Disneyland run on a very, very small budget that wants to be Disneyland, but it's not quite there, but it still feels a little bit like Disneyland, but it's not. We're there. And one of the first things I did was compare. I compared for a 90s weekender. Now, it was going really well, and it's the first time I'd been on stage properly. And my entertainment manager said to me, Adam, I want you to bring on the next band. And I thought, brilliant, it's finally happening. So the next band were a big pop band in the 90s. And he gave me a piece of paper and said, when the time's right, I want you to read out this piece of paper. I thought, do you know what? I'm not going to let you down. I'm like the boy in the inflatable school, but this time it's coming up good. So, stood on the side of the stage. The crowd were going wild. The DJ went, give it up for your MC, the one, the only, Mr. Adam Morrison Jones. I walked onto the stage. Top of my voice. Right, you're having the best 90s break ever. I want you to really enjoy yourself. Go wild for this band. They're absolutely amazing. The one, the only, the crazy 9/11! And I walked off. It was 911! I've just mentioned one of the biggest disasters ever. So, ever since that, everything else is pretty fine. So I want to finish with talking about my dad. He just celebrated his 70th birthday, so give him a round of applause. Yeah, once again, I don't know if anyone did that. This is alive. So he said to me, son, I want to see a West End musical. Now, a little backstory about my dad. He's from Dover, and he's a bit of a blokey bloke. He's never been to a West End musical before. And I went, Dad, if that's what you want to go and see, I will take you to see a West End musical. So we sat down and I said, Dad, you can see any West End musical you want. He said, son, I want to see the best West End musical, the one I've been hearing about. I went, all right, what is it? Les Mis. Has anyone else seen it? You with the black t-shirt, have you seen it? Oh, mate, it's brilliant, isn't it? Brilliant. So, this is like someone's breakdown just happening live, a pre-recorded crazy. So, I took him to see Les Mis. Now, if you've seen it before, you'll know this. If you haven't, then you won't. And there's this character called John Valjean. Every time he talks, he refers to himself as a number. He never uses his name. And there's this beautiful scene. I'm going to take you to the theatre now. This is going to be so powerful, it's actually going to open all the theatres in the West End. What's your name? 24601. And my dad went, bingo! Killed the moment absolutely dead. Also in the news this week is Netflix are cracking down on people using the same account. There's been up to 25 people on the same account in some instances. So they're going to crack down on it. This is particularly bad news for the Queen because she was on Harry's account. She really loves the Tiger King. She sees it like a kind of exotic, the crowner. Harry's in a good mood though because in a few years Meghan can actually be on the Crown as an actor playing Meghan Markle. Now, I'd like to leave you lovely people with a story about my old roommate. Now, when I started out, I used to live in a chalet and they paired me up with a guy called Brian. Now, Brian liked to drink every now and then, and every night he'd come home absolutely wasted. One of the best things he ever did was, it was 3 o'clock in the morning, I was asleep, and I heard a knocking on my door, and all I heard was, Adam. I went, Brian, what is it? And I was looking at the door, and the handle was going up and down like this. And all I heard was, Adam, your door won't flush. That's a level, isn't it? That's a level of drunkenness to pee up someone's door. The second thing he did, which will always stick in my mind as either genius or insane, was he said to me once, Adam, that fridge, there are some eggs in there. Please take them out tomorrow. But why are you so invested in taking these eggs out of the fridge tomorrow? He says, Adam, they go out a date tomorrow and I do not want those eggs hatching. Has that ever happened? Has anyone woke up one morning and just opened the fridge and just seen chicks flying out? I don't think you have. Bless him. It's been a pleasure talking to you lovely people. I know this seems a bit weird and a bit odd, but you know what? We've had a lovely time. And you in the black t-shirt, you have a wonderful week. God bless you. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Morrison-Jones. Adam Morrison-Jones. And it's nice when somebody does their act and they think, I know, I'll include the MC in the end bit about the door flushing. So, Adam Morrison-Jones that was. And now, that door flushing has inspired me to do a song that we haven't done for years. Yeah, partly because it's fucking terrible and nobody likes it, but we have to do something. So this is it. It hasn't got a title, but I think you can probably work out what the title would have been if we bothered to put one to it. I went up all night just talking shite and I'm absolutely fucked. I was on PC when she brought me tea, but the bastard thing weren't cooked. I called her out and began to shout about to self-destruct. I simply said that thing's not dead, that's when the bastard clucked. Well, I sat off bus and I made no fuss, silent as the night. I worked out, she went up the spout, and I went in the shite. I'm fucked, I'm fucked, I'm fucked, I'm fucked, I'm fucked, I'm fucked, I'm fucked. I'm fucked, I'm fucked, I'm fucked, I'm fucked, I'm fucked, I'm fucked. You won't believe Cliff Richard turned this one down. She went in the club, I went down the pub, sinking a pint or two. Well, I asked the lads, and they said that's bad, but we don't know what to do. And me and Stan, we hatched a plan to try and save the day. We all went down, got £50, and we sent her on her way. Yeah, with pattern math.
2 mins of pattern
2
math.
mins of pattern math. Yeah.
Hi, Sean.
Catherine, hello, and welcome to all the little children of the world to 2 mins of pattern math. That's right. Yeah, you know what it is here. You just
Yeah, that's my move. I've incorporated it in. People like it. Shut up. Anyway,
yes.
could you fight a piranha?
Okay. Yeah, I could. Because easy. I mean, they're little, aren't they? Anyway,
Oh no, I've seen the films. They're like this big, and they've got 8 rows of teeth, and they can strip a man bare in seconds, like me.
Well, all I know is I was on Facebook the other day, and a piranha was shouting his mouth off about the common market.
Yeah.
And I offered him out. I said, come round. I gave him my address in a private message. Never showed up.
Well, that's for the best. We're in lockdown, Sean. Who's been responsible?
Yeah. An easy excuse to make.
And you live inland.
Exactly. Which is why I reckon I could beat a piranha. Thank you. All I need to do is get the piranha. Oh, I mean, yeah, move the goalposts now, sure.
Well, I thought it was implied.
No, not at all. I mean, no, obviously I couldn't then. They're lethal.
Can't you swim?
Yes. But not whilst simultaneously ripping something apart with my teeth. I can't multi.
Yeah. You have to use your teeth.
True. Well, I'll rip it apart. I can't. Because you're doing that, you can't. It's a non-starter, Catherine. You've not thought this through again.
What are your legs for? I think we've concluded. I think we've concluded it.
Yeah, you're wrong. Again.
No. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
2 mins of pattern math there, addressing the great issues of the day, like what would happen in Blofeld's world if it was real. So there we are. It's all bizarre, isn't it? Yeah. Good. So I'm. The thing is, you look at this and you just think, this goes out. You think this is awful, and then you see something on the internet that's even worse than Pear Shaped, and it inspires you. Because recently I saw Alistair Campbell was on a humour podcast, and they're talking about how great it was to laugh at things afterwards. So there we are. Everyone can laugh at themselves. I mean, I remember when Alistair Campbell lied to Parliament multiple times and started an illegal war, and millions died. But the wonder of comedy is that now, looking back on it, we can laugh about it. Good. So there we are. I'm a bit rusty as well. That's why I'm doing this, because I've been on tour. Well, I went to the other room. That's about as much of a tour as you can do. I might go to the front room later, but Ava is sometimes behind the door. She is not behind the door tonight. Yeah. Good. No. Yes. I've lost my thread now. Never mind. I have interacted. That is the good thing. We are interactive, because it can be a bit static otherwise. I used to be able to hear Al, but I can't hear him now. I don't know what's happened there. Yeah, there you are. Yeah. Yes, that would give me the illusion that if it was real punters, there someone would laugh. You see, because the great thing about comedy is you can do jokes and make your friends laugh. And then you go out and do them in a real club, and it just dies horribly. It's just complete silence. Sometimes you just have audiences who just really don't want to have fun. Like we would have, we used to remember the Bomb Squad. Yeah. The Bomb Squad used to come down to Pear Shaped, and they'd sit in the front row, and they'd sit through the acts, and they'd just be like, yeah, Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. And they were paying proper money, and they sit through the whole show not enjoying or laughing at a single act. And then eventually it got to the point where they started talking between themselves one week, and Vicky, Krysstal said to them, "Would you mind being quiet?" And at the interval, this bloke came up to me and he said, "Look, if that bird talks to me like that again, I'm never coming back." Unfortunately, they never came back. It was marvellous. It was almost as good as the week that we had the English language school, and Stephen K. Amos came down and did 15 minutes and died completely because they couldn't understand a word he said. But they'd been promised to see English cultural experience, and they did. They just didn't understand it, and neither did anybody else. But you learn these things afterwards. Because that's the great thing about comedy. Good. So yeah, I mean the highlight of the world we're supposed to live in now is we're supposed to be looking forward to going back to the pub. I mean, I used to go in the Standard in Croydon, and you go in there and the landlord say, "What do you want?" And I go in there and say, "What do you want?" And I'll say, "Guinness." Or on another occasion, I'll go in there and he'll say, "What do you want?" And I'll say, "Guinness." Or on another occasion, I'll go in there and he'll say, "What do you want?" And I'll say, "Guinness." Eventually, you crack, don't you? So one day I went in there. I said, "What do you want?" He said, "What do you want?" I said, "Have you got any emotions?" And he said, "Yeah, bitter or extra cold." The other thing about the internet is like doing it like this, you don't feel you can swear too much. I've realised that swearing is becoming more taboo in comedy. Like you go and do a live gig and they say things like, you have to be careful not to swear because the venue owner will throw us out. We get complaints. So the only person who can swear, I've worked it out now, the only person who can swear in entertainment is Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay has the monopoly of swearing on television and in entertainment. So that's why his act is now fuck this, fuck that, fuck you, you fucking awful, fuck this, fuck that, fuck him, fuck him. Either he's got the monopoly on swearing, fuck this, fuck that, fuck you, fucking awful, raw, fucking awful, or he's got an incubus. Yeah, one for the ancient Persians there. An incubus is a mythical creature that sits on your penis while you're asleep and sucks out all the sperm. Obviously, if you're a woman, you'd have a succubus because gender roles are very defined in ancient mythology. I did that joke for 10 years, and eventually somebody pointed out that it's actually the other way around, but I think it sounds better the wrong way around. Anyway, that's a link. Let's put an act on, because I think I've been fun enough. Good, so, where are we? I think the next, Al Mandolino. It's you, Al. You're doing a tune.
Yes, it's Al.
Oh,
It's Al.
that didn't take long. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Al Mandolino. Don't worry, Al, I'll edit that and put some nuts in. That'll be all right. Don't worry. Now, Mr. Lister hasn't showed up this week because he's, unlike all the rest of us, he has a life. He has work to do, places to go and people to see. So I'm just going to put the next act on, and he would have enjoyed putting this next act on. Ladies and gentlemen, Dickie Dido.
Hey!
Hey!
Hello. Hello, ladies in trousers. Hello, ladies in trousers. Dickie Dido here, plumber to the rich and famous. And I've been plumbering now for 25 years. Man or boy, mostly man. But I've been plumbering now and I've got a lot of famous clients on my books, ladies in trousers. Just the famous clients. I've got Joanna Lumley. She's a client. Lovely Lumley, I call her. She is Lumley. She really lovely. She really is. Hey, and what? Hey, and what a lovely work she did with the Gherkins. I mean, come on. I mean, she was marvellous, wasn't she? Of course, it doesn't end there. You know, I've got lots of other famous clients. Marty Pello. He used to ring me up on the regular. He had a leak. Talk about wet, 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 ladies in trousers. Wet, very wet. Very wet. And obviously being a Liverpool plumber, I used to do a lot of work for Mr. Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Oh, yes. He ring me up, you know. They say, these teeth, I've got no glue. These, I've got to go into my kids. No, he used to ring me up. He said, Dickie. He said, can you come round? I've got a leak. He said, but if you're too busy, I'll do it myself. I said, no, Frankie. No, I said, relax. Don't do it. I'll come. Yeah, they're all the jokes, really. Most of them, anyway. But you probably noticed, ladies in trousers, they've got the old guitar there. I always bring the guitar up to gigs, just in case the gig goes to shit. You got a bit of backup. This next song is going to be great. This next song, ladies in trousers, this was the song I want to play for you now. Hope you'll be able to hear it. Yeah, this next song, ladies in trousers, very close to my heart. It was written by a very, very dear friend of mine who sadly died. Half an hour. So nearly lost him again then. Sadly died. And anyway, I'm going to play it for you now. It's called I'm Gonna Live Forever. It's not really a song, I just made that up, you know. It's just a little bit, like the insert. But listen, I am going to play, I'm trying to think I've got any more jokes, you know. Not many. Anyway, did I tell you about the time we did the work for Live Aid? That was one of my first jobs as a plumber, you know, to the stars. And Elton Johnny rang me up and he said, can you come round? He said, we've got a leak backstage in the toilets. I said, oh, God, no problems, Elton. Right. So I shot over, you know, like a shot. Right, backstage. So what's the problem, Elton? He said, it's in the toilet, come with me. So I followed him through the toilets, big pool of water there, slipped right on my bottom. Elton said, I'm still standing. I said, hey, mind you, you're still standing. I'm covered in it. I said, and I can see a crocodile rock. Next thing I know, ladies in trousers, Earl Brown from Hot Chocolate comes bursting through out the one of the cubicles, covered in piss. I said, hey, Earl. I said, well, what the bloody hell happened to you? And he said, it started with a kiss. Shit, actually. Never mind. Anyway, I'm going to play a tune. I don't know which one to play for you, actually. Let's have a little think. This is going to be great. We everyone enjoying themselves? No, not as much as me. Right, here we go. Let's see if I can remember the words to this. Here we go. This is good, this. Hang on. I'll get it in a minute. Any minute now, here it comes. See you on the internet browser. See you wearing same brown trouser. This song makes no sense at all. Chocolate covered candy floss. Took the bus and I got lost. This song makes no sense at all. Round and round in great big circles. Round and round in great big circles. Round and round and round and round and round. Round and round, great big circles. Round and round in great big circles. Round and round and round and round and round. You get the idea. I don't know what Brain was doing then. Do you know what? I've had a lovely I've had a lovely time. I have. I've had a lovely time, and I'd just like to thank everybody out there in Face Truck Land. But great, it's really good to be here, and you can all follow me on Face Truck or Twitter, any of those. And but thanks everybody. I really enjoyed the show, this bit. So thanks to for Brain for having me on and Crystal Tits. Be great. Thanks very much, everybody. Goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dickie Dido. That was fantastic. I'll tell you.
Al's laughing has got reverb on it.
Sorry.
Are you laughing with reverb?
Yeah.
I've switched it off. I've switched Phil off.
Okay, that's
You
better.
sound like a laughing ghost.
It gets a bit ambiance.
Yes. Now that was Mr. Dickie Dido, who was absolutely marvellous. And because I can't follow that guitar playing, it's like if Eric Clapton was on, I wouldn't go, oh, I'll play a bit on guitar for you now. I can't do that. So I'm just going to put the next act on straight away. Ladies and gentlemen, that is...
Pear Shaped regular.
Pear Shaped regular for many years. The one and only Mr. Angus Lindsay.
I bumped his head. Mommy called the doctor and the doctor said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed.
Well, there you go. Oh, thanks, man. That was really good, wasn't it? So, what else should we sing? Can we sing Hey Hey with the Cheeky Monkeys?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey hey with the cheeky monkeys. People say we're messing around, but we're too busy
Singing.
to see anybody in.
Round.
Oh, indeed. I never know the words. We're just making it up. So you're probably thinking, what is this? This is supposed to be comedy. Is this comedy, or is this just a man with his son? Say hello, Nico. Say hello to Pear Shaped.
Hello, Pear Shaped.
So we're going to tell some jokes. Nico, do you know any jokes?
No.
Ah, right, that's a bit of a problem. Okay, I'm going to tell you a joke. This is not remotely rehearsed, so why break the pear-shaped habit? Oh, I love pear-shaped. Yeah. So, no, I really do. It's one of my favourite gigs of all time, in fact. Yeah, I mean, I remember one time it was when we were down in the Fitzroy Tavern. It was packed to the rafters with comedians. And but you know what? I really enjoyed it. Everyone else hated it, but I don't know. Maybe it's because I've got a thing for Anthony. Yeah. What, Di? Okay. Right. So this this is comedy. Comedy is coming.
Daddy.
What, Di?
Where's the one with 2 holes?
The one with 2 holes. Oh, it's there. Right. Okay. I'm going to attempt a joke. How about? Oh, I know. I could do a little routine. I suppose you could call it that. And it is about. Hold on a second. Are we recording? Yes, we are. Excellent. All right. So, Nico, I'm going to tell you a story about some very angry snails. Shh. No, it's a really good one. It's really good. So. These snails were very, very big, and they came from a land called Chernobyl. And these snails were very, very angry, and they decided that they were going to take over the world, particularly France. So they started sliming their way across Russia, and they were, you know what? It took them a long time. And there was Colonel Vlad, and Private Peter. And there they are, and they're sliding across Siberia. And it's like, why? It's taking us forever. We've been traveling for 2 years, and we've only gone about 25 meters. This is too fucking slow. What's the? I can't remember what the rest is. I think they end up in France, and they commit some kind of terrorist act in Disneyland, and it's all. This is actually a treatment I wrote for a film that is still strangely in development. So, boom. Okay, old jokes. Let's see. Did you know that my first experience of seeing a woman naked was in that 70s feel-good film, Jaws? I mean, admittedly, yeah, but Jaws, it was about a big shark, Nick. Big shark. I mean, admittedly, her breasts were removed from the rest of her torso. But still, tits. Brian, you said I could make anything, and you just put it on. So you better put this on. Oh dear, I really am making such a plonk of myself. Oh, that's 4 minutes 57. Right, that's 5 minutes. That's all you're getting. Or actually, should we end on a song? Yeah, what are we going to sing? Oh, no, go on. Let's sing.
I don't want to do another song.
Not another song. Okay, what do you want to do instead? Should we do a little dance? Yeah, okay. All right, we're going to end it with a song. With a little dance. Come on. Up you get.
I don't want to dance.
You don't want to dance? Okay. Well, look, in typical pear-shaped style, this is just going to end on a... Hey, should we make some fart noises? Do it with your arm. Bye.
Oh, yes. Angus Lindsay, yes. I was deep away, yes. Yeah, good. So, well, that was Angus with his child. That would be like Ryan's daughter, where everyone couldn't watch it till they were like 16 and had to wait 10 years because they were too young to know what they'd been involved with. But you know, it might work out. Good. I'm not going to go on for too long because I think I went on for too long before. You know, I'm going to get on a roll. Yeah, this is entertainment, by the way, in case you haven't realised. The great Harry Potter saga, where they discovered that, although he is a bit weird, he would have been better off in a mainstream school. Good. So, let's put an act on. So, I think after Angus Lindsay, the next act is the wonderful Nathaniel.
This one's called Stench. And it goes like this. I found out what the smell is. I found out what the smell is. Oh, have you? What is it? You. That's good. That's about a smelly person that I used to go out with. This next one is called Hoover. It goes like this. Careful where you hoover. What's that? Careful where you hoover. Careful. There's an earring down there somewhere. Okay, well, if I see gig. That's the earring. Thanks. Sack him! Sack him! Sack him! What are you watching? I'm just talking to my cat. Sack him. This one's called Shark, and it goes like this. Excuse me, there's a shark in my tea. A shark. In my tea. Well, have a look. Have a look then. Baby shark. Oh, is it? Have the tea bag in. Looks like a shark. This last poem is called Bacon. And it goes like this. My girlfriend left me because I loved bacon. That's weird. Is she a vegetarian? No, she just said that I loved bacon too much. Yeah, bit weird. I think so. Do you like bacon? Yeah, I love bacon. Me too. What do you name yours? Mine's Cyril, Gavin, Edna. Okay, right, I get it now. Ladies and gentlemen!
Nathaniel!
Fucking poetry. That's what we need, is poetry. Just to fucking lift the mood a bit. And now, well, I gave him a terrible intro last week. Terrible. So now we have all the way from America, Cole Parker, our man in LA.
Your mic.
Yeah, Mike.
Sorry about that slight satellite issue there for a second, because I am live in Los Angeles. That's right. And by the way, Brian, very quickly, I knew it was only a matter of time until Pear Shaped started exploiting child labour. That's fantastic, mate. I'm surprised it took you so long, to be honest. I was going to bring my child to the gig today, but unfortunately she's working a crack house in South LA. But next week, hopefully, because I am live in LA, and live is the operative word, because there's been a lot of mass shootings this week in America. I know there's always a lot of mass shootings, but like there's been more than normal, if normal is a thing that can ever exist in a society which allows anyone to buy a fucking firearm. It's incredible. By the way, it's not called mass shootings necessarily because a lot of people are shot. Sometimes it's called mass shootings because the people who are getting shot are massive. Right, that's why. So there's a distinction there, okay, and I'm going to press that theme a little bit because they've got the they've changed things around in the high school shootings. There's less high school shootings these days because they implemented a policy not long ago whereby every month, every high school in America, they're required to do this by law now. They have a meeting, all the students, all the faculty, and they nominate one of them to go and fuck the ugliest, loneliest guy in the school, and that just helps keep the numbers down. You see, and of course, you know, good news as well for the Dungeons and Dragon Club's members throughout the United States. But you can't really implement the same policy if you're in a live shooter situation in, say, a grocery store. You can't offer spontaneous sexual congress to an active shooter, you know, presenting your mouth, anus, or genitals in that situation could be considered as a bit of a gamble. So what I like to do, every time I'm caught in a mass shooting, what I like to do is this: I just remain calm, keep my headphones in. I'm just very calmly, I just stand behind an American. What I do. There are a lot, they move quite slowly. Most of them, as you know, are over 500 pounds. That's 40 stones to you and me. And so they're normally dense enough to withstand any high caliber round and for a person behind them to be completely safe. And I know there's a lot of complaints about changing American gun laws, okay? But the fact is you cannot change American gun laws. And people don't understand this, but you can't change American gun laws. If you were to change American gun laws, if you were to change them, that would mean that some people, a few people, would make a bit less money. Yeah. Think about that, eh? When you explain it to people properly, then they get on board and go, oh, I didn't realize. But yeah, so that's why they can never be changed. So I'm going to close this week on something positive, something that brings us away from this, something which is true to life. I walked to my grocery store just last weekend, and I put on a mask because I was leaving the house, as you have to. And the mask I put on, I found out, whilst I discovered, it was a little bit anusy. It was a little bit pungent. It was a bit like reminiscent of if you'd say vigorously eating out your partner on a hot day after a hike, right? It was a bit strong, a bit aniseedy. Okay. So what I did was I removed my mask. And I got my sanitizer, I got my hand sanitizer, right? And I just gave it a generous squeeze in the middle, smeared it in, put it back on. And I was actually using this same sanitizer. I got a load of this free. You can see this, 75, because it's 75% alcohol, right? By the time I got to the store, I was fucking hammered, right? Seriously, the fumes get you fucked, right? I got to the store. I was in a real state. Now, that could be a problem because I can get a little bit abusive and rowdy when I'm drunk, right? So I thought, oh, shit, how's this going to go? American police, they do like to execute people for crimes which a judge wouldn't necessarily even give them jail time for. So I was a bit nervous. But luckily, when I got to the grocery store, it was a very busy Saturday, very busy. So there was already several active shooters just in the produce section alone. So I was able to nip in and out unnoticed. So, phew, that was lucky. Until next week, this is Cole Parker, live in LA for Pear Shaped in Dystopia.
Cole Parker with his jokes. Yeah, Brian complains that the room is not exciting to look at. And you said you wanted to see my Christmas decorations. You don't, okay? My mother, you see, one of the reasons it's spare is my mother was a designer. She was responsible for the worst wallpapers of the 1970s. So I have decided to have no interior design. And since I started selling furniture, I used to work in a restaurant, and then you don't want to eat food when you come home. And I have that feeling about interior design, so there is none. It's completely blank. Okay, that's why. But you said you wanted to see my Christmas decorations. This is what my mother gave me one year as a Christmas decoration. This is a real thing that you can buy in Birmingham. So there it is. And if you think that isn't crass enough, there you are. Well, you asked for it, so you got it. So I'll put the next act on.
It's a whirly-gig.
Right. So can we have some love and appreciation, please, for Mr. ROSSFERAT?
Hello, evening all. So a bloke just comes to the door and he goes, go on then. I said, you what? He said, go on. He says, go on what? And then he looks down and there's two little people there. There's a clown and a witch. And they go, trick or treat. I said, what's all this, mate? He says, it's trick or treaters. I said, I'm not trick or treating you. He said, no, trick or treaters. They're trick or treat. They are. They're my kids. He says, they're trick or treaters. They're trick or treating. I said, oh, right, okay. Can I help you, mate? He says, have you got anything for them? I said, I don't know who they are. He says, they're my kids. I said, yeah, I guess that. You've had a clown and a witch, have you? Better say, about the last of your family, isn't it? Huh? He said, yeah, most people on the street are up for it. I said, what, kids? He said, no, most people on the street are up for doing a bit of trick-or-treating. I said, better get going down the street, don't you? He says, have you got any sweets? I says, how old are you? He said, they're not for me, are they? They're for the kids. I says, I haven't got any sweets. I don't do anything like this. It's not my cup of tea. He says, you got a pumpkin outside. I said, I had it for me tea yesterday. I had it for me tea. Nothing to do with you. He says, you've carved a face into it. I said, I was angry. I was on the phone to EE. I was kicking off. If I'd have had a pen, I'd have been doodling. He said, come on then. I said, you see what? He said, come on. I said, I'm not going anywhere with you, son. And then he prodded the clown. He nodded to the witch. He said, come on. This fella ain't up for it, is he? He says, miserable old sod. He said, you're a Scrooge. I went, that's Christmas. Come on. And then on the way out, I said, you can take the pumpkin if you want. He says, these ain't, he shouted back, these ain't sweets. I went, I know, but the bin man left it this morning, they missed it. That's it. Trick or treat. ladies and gentlemen, Mr. ROSSFERAT. ROSSFERAT. Now, Anthony, last week I asked Al, I said, does it remind you of anyone? Anthony, can you fucking hear me? Why can't he hear me?
I can't put him in the stream.
I put him in the stream. Anthony.
Yes, Anthony. Yeah.
Now, I asked Al last week, I said, who does that remind you of? Does it remind you of anyone? No? All right, great. No. Thank you very much. ROSSFERAT, that was, ladies and gentlemen. And now, your headline act of the evening, what we're having here this evening is the one and only Mr. Mike Shear. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, thank you. Welcome to my big fucking massive head on your computer. If your power goes out, that's because your computer has blown it out trying to process this melon. Cool. Good to be here in my own house. My name is Mike Shear. So I come from Canada. We had a lot of mics in Canada, obviously. In my class in school, we had like Mike, we had like 8 mics, so you had to differentiate them. There was like Mike P, Mike T, Mike R, Mike Q. So of course I had to be Mike 6969 Pussy Licker. I also, another fun fact about me is that I have gout. I have gout and I've got a baby face and gout. I'm full of contradictions. Someone told me I have a baby face the other day. To be fair, I was covered in spaghetti and crying at the time, but heard a little note there. Somebody's in my head. At least they're kind. And yeah, I got the gout. I don't know if you guys know what gout is, but it's like a really painful condition that you get in your toe from eating too much and drinking too much. It's kind of like the opposite of athlete's foot. So the one thing they don't tell you about gout when you get it is that you love to tell people that you have gout. And I don't know if that's because it's easy to pronounce, unlike other conditions. I don't know what it is. Gout. It's just so much fun. You do it. I know you fucking do it. Gout. It just makes you think of getting kicked out of a pub in rural Scotland, doesn't it? Gout! Gout! Use gout! Anyway. I can't wait to go on holiday again. I want to visit my friend in Spain. Spain's just a wild place. Because I don't eat a lot of meat generally, but these guys are fucking mad about their meat. They love meat so much that their word for why is literally pork. Thank you. But they love meat. And here's the thing. If you go to Spain and you've got a friend who like knows the spots and you tell him you love meat, he will drag you down into the lower circles of the inferno. I'm telling you about meat. Like I was with him in this one little cantina and we were eating and I was like, this is a nice dish. What is this? And he goes, oh, that's, how do you say it? It's the cheek of a small horse. I was like, a pony's face? A pony's face? You got me eating a fucking pony's face, you psycho? What the hell's it even marinated in? Affection? Would you go game hunting in the petting zoo, you lunatic? A pony's face? And he goes, don't worry about it. It's just the cheek. Like, that's the worst part. If this is the cheek, where's the rest of it? Don't tell me it's still out there, working, giving rides. Somewhere there's some kid going, Mommy, are you sure it's just smiling? I'm here in lockdown in this flat with my girlfriend. We've been here for a while, obviously. The other day we were sitting there staring at the same wall because we like to do things together. And she goes, do you know what? I think I'm going to bake some muffins. And I said, why are you telling me that? Why are you saying that? Because I'm an absolute piece of shit. But I was like, why are you telling me that? And she goes, oh, nothing. I'm just thinking out loud. Oh, yeah? That's your thoughts? That's you thinking out loud? Those are your thoughts? You're thinking about muffins? We've been alone together for a whole year. Every night you're watching murder documentaries on Netflix. You're going to try to tell me that the one time your thoughts just explode into the world, they're about muffins? You fucking kidding me? I know what you're really thinking is you're looking at me going, God, I wish he was Johnny Depp. Just so I could beat the shit out of him and get away with it. That's right, I took a stance politically. I don't know, she's walking through. I'm watching all these murder documentaries on Netflix. I don't know if you guys have watched them. I watched one with her the other day and I was like, fuck, I was watching it and I was thinking, you know what? If I was one of these guys, like I'd done a bit of serial killing or whatever, and I was like, had to sit in court like these guys and they're just reading out the long list of my victims, or all the victims are coming up and they're all speaking and stuff. I really hope I'd feel guilty just so I had something to do, because it looks so boring. Otherwise, it's so boring. Just sitting there in your itchy jumpsuit. It's like, what are we doing, a live taping of the phone book? I brought my own sound effects. I don't know, I'd be like, come on guys, move it. Let's get a move on. Hurry this up. I need to get to the hardware store before it closes so I can get a clean hammer. Me and my girlfriend, we're getting along as best as we can, but she has a foot fetish, and sadly, I'm only 5 inches. Of course, I learned yoga. Everyone's learning yoga. I had to do a bit of yoga, and now I know the names. I know the names of all these positions, which I don't know if it's good, because now if we're doing it doggy style and she accidentally goes into child's pose, I'm like, is this problematic? I would rather not know the name of this pose. One thing I'm glad about is that I haven't had to ride the tube or the subway or anything in a long time, which is nice. Turns out rush hour was a lie. It's fine because I don't really get up before 1 anyway. 1 a.m. That doesn't make sense. Don't settle down. No snorting wine out your nose, people at home. But yeah, I don't like riding the. You know what the worst is, like when it's super busy here in London. It gets super busy, and the very worst is when it's like attempted suicide busy. Like someone's attempted suicide when someone's tried to, and everything stops. And you're like, a lot of people, they're like, oh, what, it's like, don't get me wrong. Like, I have empathy, all right? But I have like commuter empathy. So I believe every life is precious until it makes me at least 3 minutes late for something. Then it's all out the window. I was like a jumper, like someone jumping to their death. I was talking to I did this gay, there it is. There it is, the tech. Bit late. Too late now. They already know. No one likes me. Okay. So I was doing this at a live gig, at a real life gig, and a lady came up to me and she was like, oh, you think attempted suicide is funny? And I was like, I think attempted anything is funny, which is true. And she goes, look, I have a friend of mine that committed suicide. And I'm like, yeah, were they talking to you at the time? Because I've already started tonguing the cyanide capsule from out behind my molar, just looking into your dead eyes, lady. Death obviously is not cool. It's funny because like in stand-up we talk about all the things like farts. We talk about coming, puking, all the bodily functions that are embarrassing, except for death, which is the most embarrassing. Imagine spending your whole life like knowing stuff and then you just throw it away at the end. It's very silly. And what I really don't like is their language around death, like how people say they lost a loved one. Like today is my father's who's dead. His birthday, died 20 years ago. I can laugh about it because he tripped on a banana peel and fell on a spike. What was I going to say? Yeah, the death of a loved one. I lost a loved one. This is the saying I don't like. Lost a loved one. They're not a phone signal. You can't lose just because someone's died. It doesn't mean you lost them. That's why we have cemeteries. Think of that. So all the dead are very clearly labeled and organized. Right? If anything, people are harder to find when they're living than when they're dead. It's easier to find something when it's dead. I wish my fucking house keys would die. I'm always looking for them. No offense, it's weird hearing this giggling in my ear. Maybe I'll kill my. Okay, no. So yeah, I don't know if that's about it. That's kind of almost what I have to say. I'm gonna throw this one out there. I don't know if this is all right. I miss going to bars like Anthony. I drink only Guinness. I miss it. I miss going to the bars, but I miss the most the sleazy gay bars, because usually when I've done myself up, I can pass as a twink. So I can go to gay bars, and you get that feeling of being desired. And the reason it speaks to me is because it's the only time I can hang around a bunch of bearded men and feel useful. Like I can contribute something to the group. Even if it's just, flesh and stuff. Usually I get caught out around groups of bearded men. I feel like an idiot because I don't know the difference between a screw and a nut. But in that other context, that's all we're doing, screwing and nutting. And on that, folks, thank you for listening to me, and I appreciate it, and you've made me feel seen.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Mike Shear, and I can truly say that he's had more laughs than anybody else tonight. I don't know what's the matter with the rest of you. La 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 la. So that was that's it. That's it. It's actually over. Except we've been waiting ages to just get this bit in about Shaz and Dave up there. Look, Shaz and Dave up, just up one, up, for fuck's sake, up. Oh, down. There it is. Now, here it is. We've rescued this from the past.
I'd like to ask you a question.
Yeah. Well, you better hurry up because I'm running out of film soon. Yeah, I've only got 12 minutes.
What you're doing for the next 50 years of your life? It's not a trick question.
No, right. Yeah. So I thought it might be, like on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
No, it's not a trick. Well, shall I give you some A, B, C's and D's?
All right. Yeah.
A.
Hang on, what was the question?
What are you doing for the next 50 years of your life? Right. A. Spending them with me.
Right.
B. Spending them lonely, miserable without me.
Right.
C. Dying. And D. Sleeping.
Sleeping. Right.
Right.
Well, Sleeping Beauty, she slept for like 20 years, didn't she?
No, it's fucking 100 years.
Well, yeah, it's the same thing.
Hedges don't grow in 20 years, it takes fucking 100 years to grow.
So, but it didn't do her any harm, because when she woke up, she was still beautiful.
Yeah, well, that's a fucking story.
But she just had a good kid.
Yeah, but that's a story, that's not real, is it?
So sleeping's not out of the question.
If you went from asleep, you wouldn't wake up. No one's going to kiss you when you're sleeping. Have you seen yourself when you're sleeping? No one fucking come near you. It's not a pretty sight. It's not going to get a fucking princess thinking, oh, I must kiss that. You're going to think, oh, fuck, we'll leave that one alone. Find a nice one.
Oh. Yeah, anyway, there's a couple of, there's fucking thousands of them actually over the years. But, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause, please, for Mike here. Give him a laugh. Just give me a laugh. That's brilliant. Thank you very much, Mike. That was great. And I'm glad you've got gout. And I couldn't help thinking, what's his name? The London comedian. What's his name?
Mickey Flanagan.
If Mickey Flanagan had it, it would be gout. All right. There we go. That's. I reckon I should have a fucking laugh for that. It's too late now. You keep missing it, And if you hear something funny, just give it a laugh, Right.
We've got to do the roll call now.
We got, yes, roll call, ladies and gentlemen. The very first act that you saw was
Robert White.
Robert White. Robert White. Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
As I was chilling on my own in my room with nobody, outside the window I saw a beautiful guy with a beautiful body. But I'm sure he smiled at me as he walked past, although it was hard to see because he was wearing a mask. But no, seriously, he waved. I thought this must be love, although when I looked a second time he was just readjusting his glove. But no, he did stop. He was trying to make conversation, although I... in isolation. What was the deal? Nothing was the deal, because I was locked down on Monday, doing lockdown on Tuesday. I was locked down on Wednesday, and Thursday, and Friday, and Saturday. And by Sunday, I just showed him my bottom through the window. What did he do?
Robert White, and he was followed, as if it's possible to follow Robert White. No, nobody can follow him. He was followed by Adam Morrison Jones. Thank you. Adam Morrison.
Just to prove.
He was followed by 2 Mins of Pat and Matt.
Hi, Sean.
Hello.
Yeah.
Toot. To all our fans who are here for another episode of 2 Mins of Pat and Matt. Now, Catherine, a question that has haunted me. Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near?
Probably all that bird seed that I keep in my coat pockets.
Yeah.
I don't know why I do it. I really don't. And I got them fat ball earrings for Christmas last year. What a fucking nightmare that was.
Well, I bet, yeah.
Yeah, bastards won't leave me alone. Shitting everywhere.
Shoulders.
Apparently that's lucky. What is lucky about turning up to a job interview looking like a car that's been parked under a tree?
Well, nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing at all. Don't do it.
No, I didn't get a single one of them jobs. It looked like there'd been an explosion at the Tipex factory. It was fucking awful. Anyway. What?
Part of me wants to weep hearing the sad tale.
Well, yeah, it was fucking awful.
Yeah. It's not part that's on camera though, so it's all right.
Yeah. What do you think? Why do birds only appear when you in here?
Yeah. Well, funny you should ask that. A lady did once ask me this. She said to me, Sean, why do they suddenly appear every time you are near?
Yeah.
And I was just about to tell her, and an owl swooped down and ripped her face off.
Oh my god.
And yeah, she didn't make it.
You wouldn't want to, would you, after that's happened?
Really off with an owl-savaged visage.
Yeah.
What's left in life?
Nothing.
Especially not happen again any time.
Well, yeah. A fear of owls can't be the only thing you've got, can it?
No.
You know?
Yeah, there's got to be more to a relationship than just a terror of birds of prey.
Well, that's what my mum always used to say anyway.
That's it, man. 2 Minutes of Pat and Matt. And they were followed by Mr. Miller now is going to tell you. He's going to tell you who they were followed by.
Dickie died. Oh, well, there was Al Mandolino playing a tune. Yes. There was Al playing a tune. And then...
Al Mandolino. No, give him a bit of a build-up.
Yeah. Al Mandolino.
Yeah. Right. No, that's enough, Al. Thanks for that. It's great. It's great. You don't want to go on. Don't fucking milk it. Right?
There's a bit of jazz in the middle of the tune this week as well.
That was Al Mandolino there, putting jazz into a folk tune, which my mum and dad were musicians, and that's why they got divorced. He was a saxophone player into jazz. She used to do jigs and reels, and you can imagine how well they got on. Their rehearsals were fucking horrendous. So, that was Mr. Al Mandolino live. You've been live now for the last quite a while, and it sounds pretty good, Al. I would pretend somebody else said that because I wouldn't, but it was great. La. While you figure that out, ladies and gentlemen, then Al was followed by Mr. Dickie Dido. Dickie Dido. Dickie. Say hello, Dickie.
Hello, Dickie. Hey, what a lovely time we've had tonight. Honest to God, it's absolutely marvellous with Al there, you know, and you and Krysstal and Charles Petrescu. It's been great. It really has.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you finished?
Yeah, I'm done now.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dickie Dido. Dickie Dido, thank you. And after making Mr. Dickie Dido, we thought, well, what the fuck are we going to follow that with? And do you know who showed up? Angus. Where is he? Fucking Angus. Angus. There he is. Look, fucking sound asleep. The kid's gone off to bed. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? Having kids, you know. Do you know what you want to do? Teach him how to make trainers.
Do what?
He'll never be out. He'll never be out. You're just asleep, aren't you? Fuck. Let's move on.
I can't hear you.
Angus, sleep. Thanks, Angus. That was fantastic. Thanks for hanging around. So, even if you fucking slept through it all, it's all right. And you know, comedy after a while it makes you sick, doesn't it? Comedy, fucking laughing. Oh, choke, laughing. Oh, choke. You know what the fucking cure is? Poetry. You know what they? Fucking poetry. Nathaniel, give me him.
Right, wait a minute.
Nathaniel.
I've just put up someone who knew your parents.
Yeah, just
this is called stench. And it goes like this.
Yeah, that'll do.
That's great. Bit of poetry. And you can't live with it, especially on a comedy night. That's what makes a comedy night take off. Some cunt doing fucking poetry. Oh, it makes such a difference. It makes everybody seem funny, even certain people whose names are never mentioned here. So that was Nathaniel, and then we went all the way to LA to meet. Who did we go to meet? Who was it? Cole Parker. Our man in La La Land. It fucking tells us every week what, and we think we've got problems over here. Cole.
Yeah. What?
Nothing.
I was feeding the cat. Sorry, I didn't know it all happened so suddenly.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's an awkward moment from Cole Parker. See, you know when you're doing a bit of comedy and everybody talks at the same fucking time. You know, Cole. Thank you very much. You were spectacular tonight.
Oh.
Anyway, that was Cole. So let's just pretend that. Let's move on from that bit. But, Cole Parker, and then we had someone who looks like someone we all know, and nobody noticed.
Hello, evening all. So a bloke just comes to the door, and he goes, "Go on then."
He does look really familiar.
That's it. It'll never take off. It'll never take off.
You do what?
Yeah, no, I'm not going any farther than that. So that was ROSSFERAT. ROSSFERAT, ladies and gentlemen, who was followed by... See, Cole is in LA, and he's still in LA, and he's coming to us from LA, but Mike Shear actually fucking came over here. He made, Cole, he made the effort. He came over here, and...
I did it.
Yeah, and... all the way,
awesome.
just for tonight's show.
Amazing.
All the way in a shipping container.
Yeah.
Fair play. Excellent. Genius. Brilliant. Love it.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was fucking great. And then what happened? We made to squeeze our own fucking bit in, didn't we, at the end there, you know? But so we
that was lovely.
We're
That
not
was.
going to do that again. We're not gonna do that again. So, where are we?
That was great video.
Who will that with the fucking Stark?
Oh no, hang on. We've got to do an outro, and then it's all over. We're going to do the outro, right? And then it's officially, that's it. And then we can
It's
have
good
a
to tie
chat
it
and
off,
say,
isn't it? You know.
what the fuck went wrong there? So, it's all right. Isn't it?
Did you say it's in Dystopia?
Yeah, that's right.
Where the hell is Dystopia?
Well,
I wonder, I know where Fitzrovia is.
Yes, we all know that.
There used to be a comedy club there called Pear Shaped in Fitzrovia.
Yes. Well, if you'd let me get a word in edgeways.
Pear Shaped is just a favour to come in, and we hope that you'll be coming back again to Pear Shaped in Dystopia every Wednesday night at 8:30. Every Wednesday night at 8:30.
That's a wicked. I like that video at the end.
Thank you. So that's it. You were all wonderful. Thank you very much.
Nice,
Even
everyone.
you, Al. You were fucking all wonderful.
That was a classic. That in the middle of that one. I
Oh,
fucking that was great.
That was all right, wasn't it? Yeah.
Very nice.
Very
It's probably got
enjoyable.
nothing to do with the fact that I'm pissed now, but I really enjoyed it.
Well, I've been
We've got
stoned
two
throughout.
people hanging in there.
Have we?
Fingers on the broadcast.
Oh, there's two people still watching.
See, Anthony, it's not just me with my drugs, Anthony. There's other people with drugs
I
too.
care.
You're in the
And you
minority.
bring drugs.
To go
I've
fuck
got
yourself.
them.
Ha ha!
Yeah.
I've got some vape somewhere. Some vape pen.
You're just showing off now.
Yeah.
Showing off.
Oh. Anyway,
The vape pen, you see, you Americans and Canadians, you've got all the gear. You know, I mean.
My friend sent it from Toronto. You've got
With
it.
the
You got
post.
it. Well, to the post. They say he said
Alright.
it's lipstick, and he was able to send the cartridges.
Yeah, so you get the cartridge, right? You get a little cartridge,
Yeah.
and you just plug it into a little battery, and then like that's fucking it, mate. No smell,
Yeah.
nothing. So like I could actually be invited round to Anthony's house for Sunday dinner, as I'm sure I will be when I get back. And then like I'll nip off to the latrine, you know, in between like the fourth and fifth course. And while I was in, I'd have a little.
Just nail some vape.
You'd never know. You'd never know. Like it wouldn't even cover the Bees Wellington shite I've just destroyed your downstairs pocket.
But don't you find you get mad high off them? Like it's like a bong hit.
Well, when you've been smoking on them as long as I have, you know, you just nothing touches the edges these days.
Yeah, tolerance issue, isn't it, man?
Dickie, do you remember Moroccan flat press that we used to get?
Oh, do you remember that? I'll tell you a funny story. Tell you a funny story. Many moons ago, when weed was very rare up in Liverpool, a friend of mine decided that they had to drive all the way to London to get a little baggie, you know, from Liverpool. Imagine doing this little journey. This is like in the 70s. And anyway, they get down to London, they get the little baggie off this bloke, like cost them a fortune. And next thing, the police came round the corner and they threw it down the grid. So they drove all the way back home to Liverpool without their drugs.
That's
not much
fucking
has
brutal.
changed, really. It's just a lot more local now. But you still get like really intimidating teenagers will turn up on BMX bikes and sell you the tiniest amount for like a ridiculous amount of money. And like it's difficult to enjoy something when you know like you've been mugged before you've even started, before you've even got any further. This is the future, Anthony.
Well, wouldn't you get loads of drugs in Liverpool because it's on the port? No, or no? Is that a stupid thing to say?
The racist thing, just be honest.
Well, because you got a port.
You know, what do you think? We all are robbers. We're all robbers here or something. You know what I mean?
You have a port there. I thought drugs can come in.
Yeah, well, that's where that's where the slave trade rocked through Liverpool port. Quite
They
frankly.
must have had some drugs
The
with them.
storehouse gig, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, we made them drugs.
I know that the Liverpool organised crime, I don't know how it still is, but I know that about 5 years ago, sources told me.